What's up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast, Two Sides to the Coin. Jakeem here. And man, Super Bowl 59. That was an interesting one. And when I say interesting, it was exciting for some, maybe for a lot if you're an Eagles fan, but man, I got to tip my hat to the Eagles. I must say, 40-22 victory. Now, you can easily say it could have been worse than that if you watch the whole game. Um, and that seemed to be a common theme by the Eagles. Just they just kind of once they put the foot on your neck, they don't let off, especially if you let them continuously keep going and going and going, and then they start scoring points, and there's a field goal here, and then they score another point. Yeah. And how does that come? It doesn't even just come from, I was just pounding the rock and running the ball with Saquon. No, if that's not working, we're gonna hit you deep from one of our three receivers that we have, whether it's AJ Brown, Smith, was it Dotson? They got weapons, and if they're not clicking, then I'm gonna go to Saquon. Oh, wait. But if you're stopping him, I'm Jalen Hurts, and I'm gonna take off and run too. They can just hit you in so many ways. And the defense. Shouts out to the defense. I was a defensive player as well. So I respect and love to watch great defensive play. I mean, if there's ever a game and there's only 13-10, I'm okay with that. That's cool to me. A lot of people say that's a boring game. I'm a little different, and I appreciate that because that means there's stops happening. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some games I guess you can say that are boring that I might look at and say, not a lot happened, depending on who's playing, because you can march right up the field and it can be exciting as hell, and then kick a field goal. Oh, who does that remind you of? The Cowboys. Fun fact to those who don't know me. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan. Hey, say it with your chest. Say it with some bass in your voice. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah, I'm just, I'm not delusional. I'm I'm not delusional. I keep it 100. I keep it real, and I'm a fan second, and I kick the facts, what I see, and what's going on. And I will say that we definitely had a tough year. Did I think that we were going to the Super Bowl? No, no, not at all. Do I think that we had a shot to, make some noise in the playoffs? Of course, of course. Dak Prescott's not a bad quarterback at all by any means. I do think that we were missing a lot. And compared to what I saw the Eagles do this year, we got a lot to work on. But I'm not about to make this about a Cowboys team or whatever we had going on. This is about the Eagles, and I'm showing love is because you guys won the Super Bowl. You are kings of the NFL and the kings of the NFC East, which is going to be tough. That's going to be a tough division, is because Washington Commanders were one game away from going to the Super Bowl as well. So you had two teams from our division make it to where the Cowboys have not made it in over 30 years. Oh man, that frustrates me in so many ways. I almost want to say something, because you can never really count the Cowboys out in the regular season. I will say that a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but being a Cowboys fan, realistically, it's hard to count us out unless you just get rid of our quarterback. And then we're done. We're one of those teams where it's like, quarterback gone, done. We did have Cooper Rush, who kind of saved the season, but really, did you think that he was going to go that far? And once again, we're not turning this into a Cowboys discussion. I'm just making it known that the NFC East is going to be packed because you got them Eagles in there. Shouts out, won the Super Bowl. Commanders, NFC uh, championship game, and that was a tough loss for them. And then you got the Giants who are trying to figure it out. So once again, shouts out to the Eagles. You guys sealed that victory in just great fashion. I mean, for the defense, you wouldn't even let Patrick Mahomes do anything that whole game. I mean, from the first quarter, what was it, 7-0? You were kind of looking at that game and saying, Eagles look good. Eagles look good. They look exactly like we've seen them throughout the whole season. But in the back of your mind, you were like, the Chiefs are good too. They should make some noise, right? It's Patrick Mahomes. Come on now. But you just saw some like a crack in the armor. Things weren't just going their way like they usually do. Now, what's interesting is that in the first drive, I think, or first couple of drives, that penalty on AJ Brown, when the you can basically say it was like offensive face guarding. I don't disagree with that call. And I know that the world went up in a frenzy and was like, hey, this is gonna be like a repeat of the Chiefs getting whatever they want. Well, didn't seem to go that way at all, is because right after that quarter, the Eagles put up another 17 points and left the Chiefs with a goose egg. Now, still, in the back of my mind, you can call me delusional. Let me know how you guys feel about this. But did you not think that the Chiefs could at some point come back? And this is the second quarter. And mind you, it's 24-0. You're just thinking to yourself, this is Patrick Mahomes. He can come back. He can. Didn't happen. So we go into halftime. Now, I'm going to transition over to the halftime show, which I will say, me personally, being a Kendrick fan, I was highly, 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 highly ready for. And the level of anticipation was just building over the weeks. I mean, come on now, was he going to play Not Like Us? What was his set list? What everyone was talking about in terms of what was leaked? You know, Joe Budden, DJ Academics. Was it true? What ended up being true, we did see the set list. And I thought that it was a really good set list. Joe Budden didn't at the time think it was, but yeah, I mean, he brought out Serena Williams, SZA, Samuel L. Jackson, Uncle Sam, which was great. DJ Mustard, and what Kendrick was able to pull off. And mind you, like I said, I really think that this was a fantastic Super Bowl halftime shows, because he did something that not a lot of rappers would be able to do, down to the detailed imagery, symbolism, choreography, his rapping. I mean, I had the opportunity to see Kendrick perform live in concert, and the dude is just he's really phenomenal at what he does. He's a musician and played the piano, and his vocals actually sounds like what he sounds like on the track. And I do have an issue with that sometimes, you know, when you go to these concerts and then you hear these rappers and you're like, oh man, you know, I love the way he sounds, or my favorite artist sounds on the track, but then you get out there and then you hear him live, and it's just like, turn me up, you know, everybody's yelling in the mic, and it's like, okay, there we go. And no knock to any rapper that does that. I know it's tough performing, and sometimes that just is what it is, but there are very few artists, for that matter, not even just rappers, that sound exactly or close to what they sound like on the album opposed to what they sound like live in concert. Well, Kendrick is on the other side. Sounds great. Um, he did a good job. Like I said, down to everything that I named, like the symbolism, imagery, choreography, rapping, and then that play on Uncle Sam, how he was the narrator. Thought that was great. Thought that was great. Um, you look at the world, and sometimes people will say, let's keep politics over here. Well, believe it or not, just being honest, politics is everywhere for the most part. Um, and Kendrick, he's going to express how he feels, whether it's uplifting the culture, uplifting his people, and for anybody who's on board with what he's trying to accomplish. So, if you didn't catch any of that, I don't see how. It was right in front of your face, and he did it in such of a Kendrick Lamar way, down to the dancers dressed in black, red, white, and blue, the flag. It'd be dope if we had like a black flag. Yeah, my favorite color is black. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it was the whole, oh, you're too ghetto, don't be too loud, or come on, Kendrick, you can't play that. Just great. And he plays into that. He teases, is he gonna play Not Like Us? Because Not Like Us was definitely a track that we didn't know whether he was gonna play or not. I mean, he just came off what? Probably the best year a rapper's had in 2024, with not like that, the future track, and going into the rap beef, which was crazy. He had everybody locked in and tuned in. Him and Drake had the internet on fire. And shouts out to Drake too, because this isn't just dissing or bashing Drake. Definitely don't want to get into that. Y'all know how it went. And for anybody who thinks that it went otherwise, which is Drake winning the battle, I think you might want to go back and listen to everything. And you also want to go back and see what Not Like Us did at the Grammys. And then you also want to look at what Kendrick just did at the Super Bowl. He's like literally demolishing this gentleman, Drake. And sometimes, what do they say? You F around and you find out. Now, this isn't just speaking that, Drake is some Rudy Poo rapper or anything like that. I mean, arguably at the time, the best rapper, living. Some people would argue and say that it was Kendrick at the time. Me personally, I enjoy Kendrick's music a lot. Some people will even say, oh, you don't, who goes in their car and they're saying, let me bump that Kendrick? Well, hey, yo, right here. Just because you don't doesn't mean that nobody else does. And the whole, they're not bumping it over here. How not? Look at the numbers. Oh, it's only doing that in California. Come on now. Let's just be realistic. I know that there's trolls and everything out there, but Kendrick and Drake have fans everywhere. They do. Whether contrary to popular belief, Kendrick, yes, from the West Coast, but he definitely has people in New York listening to his music. He definitely has people in Atlanta listening to his music. I've heard it. I've seen it. You driving down, and then here's the argument somebody might make. Well, that's just one person. Okay, that's all it takes. You said nobody. Semantics, right? But we're not going to get into that right now. This is about Kendrick. He's at the top of his game, and he's just put on a master class on art and how you express yourself on a national stage like this. And also how you express yourself demolishing somebody in a rap beef and ending it, like game over, ending it. It was great. I had no problems with it. I do think that maybe the mic could have been turned up just a little bit more. Maybe that was by design. I know Kendrick is very precise with what he does. He's very intentional with what he does, the music that he puts out, how he puts it out, when he puts it out, very strategic. So that may have been by design, but I'll take it. You know, um, is this the best halftime show that's ever been done? Probably not. No, there's been so many halftime shows before this, and there's been some great ones. Even ones that, I wasn't old enough to remember. I hear people talk about the Michael Jackson, which some of these performances, yes, I have seen. I just wasn't able to experience it. And there is something about being able to experience something while you're there, opposed to just seeing it. Shannon Sharp talks about the Prince halftime show, and it started raining while Purple Rain came out, and you can only imagine how the crowd felt, like just going nuts, like Purple Rain, yeah! Like that's dope. That's dope. So for me, this is definitely on one of my tops. One that reaches my top is the halftime show that was in Los Angeles, and they had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all of them, 50 Cent, K Dot. Like this is not his first Super Bowl, but I mean he's headlining this Super Bowl. But the man has just he's hitting the mark on pretty much everything that you could think of. He won a Pulitzer Prize. Like, come on now. And if you want to downplay any of the awards and accolades that he gets, I don't know what to tell you. It's okay to recognize greatness, even if you're not a fan. Everybody might not be a fan of Kobe, but you have to appreciate his greatness, his level of hard work and determination in becoming who he was, the Mamba. And to me, I'm a huge Kobe fan, but at the same time, I am not gonna disregard or miss the mark on witnessing greatness in front of my eyes at this very day with LeBron James. LeBron James is great. Nothing else that needs to be said about that. He is. But, two things could be true at the same time. It's possible. We're always looking to see who's the best. And there's no problem with that, especially, that's what competition is all about. We want to be the best. I want to beat you. And that's why Kendrick did the Control verse, for those who don't know, but I'm pretty sure, if you're a Kendrick fan, you definitely know. He put everybody on game. Like, come on, let's go. Let's come with it. I'm calling all y'all out. Let's get it. So right now, I would definitely say Kendrick is at the top. There's nobody touching him. Nobody. I'll argue that. Come on. Let me know what y'all think. I love to hear what everybody thinks, and it's your opinion. You're definitely open to your opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. But yeah, if you weren't rocking with the halftime performance, would love to know what it was that you didn't like about it, and maybe if maybe you just don't like Kendrick Lamar, or you're thinking to yourself, I couldn't understand anything that he's saying, or like nothing that he did, moved me. Give him a shot. Check out some of his work. Maybe that track list, set list was just something that didn't move you. Go through his a few of his albums. You know, To Pimp a Butterfly was is arguably one of the best albums he's made or ever made. You know, he's got hits, and his discography is well put together. There's not a lot of rappers that have, or artists for that matter, who has a discography quite like his. And like I said before, he is very intentional. He's very detailed and plans well. So when he puts out a body of work, he puts his heart and soul into it, especially with Good Kid, Mad City. You know, great album. Take a listen to that. Check out To Pimp a Butterfly. That is soulful music, jazz, and you know, when people have this critique on Kendrick about his music may not move them, or he doesn't make slappers or things that we could wait. I mean, that might be your cup of tea. That might. But don't think for a second just because he doesn't do it, he can't do it. And I think he's showing everybody that once again, because if you know old Kendrick, you knew you wouldn't even have questioned that. And so he's doing that now with GNX. I don't know if I mentioned his album Damn, which I thought was a great album. I even thought Mr. Morale was in the Big Steppers was a really good album. It was therapeutic, and you know, not everybody's wants to hear that, and which I understand. But for those that don't know Kendrick, and you aren't a fan of rap, he's a poet, very poetic. Like I said, he has soulful music, so you can find something that you can possibly rock to. And even with his message, you saw in the Super Bowl, he broke it down, and he's got a strong message that he's trying to portray um, to America, about America, about ourselves, and how, you know, that level of expression for the culture. So take a look. Let me know what you guys think about Kendrick. Um, Definitely gonna get back to the Super Bowl, where boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, and also, um, should have a reaction video up, is because I was super excited about that halftime performance. So you'll get a chance to check that out. Um, but back to the game. After that high of a halftime show, you just thought that, okay, Kansas City's gonna get the ball back and we're gonna get things rolling, right? Uh, didn't happen. What do we have here? Kansas City. If you're looking at the box score, you're gonna see a 6 on there. 6. That's not that's not 2 field goals. It could be, but that was a touchdown and a missed 2-point conversion. While the Eagles scored 10 points easily. Just 10. Here you go. 7, 3, field goal. Mm-hmm. Games is getting out of hand, but you're still like, it's the Chiefs. It's Mahomes. We've Listen, if you've watched football and you know great teams or even like a good team, it might not even be a good team. We just watched enough football to know like it's just never over until it's over, until it hits 0-0-0. It is done. So even by the third quarter, there was still like this thought in my mind, like, yes, Patrick Mahomes can do something. And you're also thinking, baby goat, Brady's commentating. And you probably thought it before Brady even had the chance. I think he said it in the first quarter. You know, I was down 28-3 against Atlanta. And you're like, yeah, he might be able to do something. But man, as you just kept watching the game, it's just like, wow, you guys aren't, nothing was falling in the Chiefs' direction. Like, Travis Kelce couldn't catch a pass. DeAndre Hopkins even had a pass where it almost looked like he should have caught the ball. Should he have not? Like, am I crazy? Or did it just look like he didn't try? I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, you didn't see the ball coming. But he even kind of cuffed it in a way where it's like, you tried to catch it with one hand? That was a easy two-handed catch. And he dropped it. That's a momentum killer. Because right there, he was wide open. He probably could have got another, I don't know, 10 yards, who knows? Dropped it. Him and Kelce weren't on the same page. The running game wasn't active. Pacheco was trying to, he was running hard. You can run hard, but get nowhere. Shouts out to the Eagles defense. I know I'm saying a lot about the Chiefs. And the reason why I'm saying a lot about the Chiefs is because it's one of those things where it's like, yes, I wanted to see the Chiefs get the 3. Why not? Why not? Make history. Let's get it, and then everybody else can get what they want. The Cowboys can get them a championship. Let Jaden Daniels get one. Mind you, I have a video on Jaden Daniels. Check that out. And the Eagles, fine. Let the Eagles get one. Just after the Cowboys. But wasn't happening like that. The Eagles really came to play, and from what I've seen throughout the history of the Eagles, they've always done a good job of creating stacked teams. They do a good job of surrounding their players, quarterback, with good players. And I think that's key to win. Not everybody is a Brady. Where you can just say, I have this great quarterback, and whatever receiver comes to the team, boom. That's it. You make it work. You make it happen. You the quarterback. We paying you big money. You go do your thing. Not everybody has that. I mean, sometimes you do need some help. And the Eagles have over time done a really good job of noticing their shortcomings or their failures. If we don't have this player, we got to go get somebody to plug in, and it's like a well-oiled machine that has to keep going. And if something falls off, we have to patch that up and keep it going. We keep it moving. We may have a couple of bad years, but we're coming right back. They're not afraid to get rid of quarterbacks. Let me say that again. They are not afraid to get rid of quarterbacks. They're not. You want to know who is? The Cowboys. Jerry just loves to stick with those players. They do. He does. But the Eagles say, well, we're gonna get McNabb, Mike Vick. I mean, look at the quarterbacks they've had. Nick Foles. I know I'm blanking out on another name, and I'm not going to spend too much time trying to figure him out. But you drafted him along the same time with Dak Prescott. He's no longer with the team. Right after that, and don't get me wrong, Eagles have had their years where it's just like, hey, we need some talent, but you go and luck up and get Jalen Hurts. Man, let's go get him some toys. Boom. Free agency. They are not afraid to spend money on free agency, and it shows. I've said time and time again, some teams that aren't afraid to do that, they're going to be successful. Look at the Rams. The Rams were not afraid to go in free agency and say, hey, we need to make a change. And they went out and they got Matthew Stafford. And look at what he did. We ain't got him a chip over there. Boom. That's what it takes. Eagles got Saquon. They're not afraid to rotate guys, get rid of guys. They're get new guys. They want players that can come and play. And boy, that front four is crazy. And they're not going anywhere. They don't have a lot of cap issues. Players that they're that they're bound to, that signed these humongous contracts. I mean, wow, you got and I always believe if you can draft a quarterback who's good, it saves you money. Saves you money. Look at Jaden Daniels just came into the league and in his first year took his team to the NFC Championship. That's crazy. Crazy. But anyways, you know, once again, shouts out to the Eagles. It was a fun, interesting Super Bowl to say the least. Great halftime show performance. Um, it's going to be interesting seeing what the league is going to be like next year. Um, this was a big Chiefs letdown. It was huge. And you ask yourself, who's to blame for this loss? I would say the line. The line is definitely they let Patrick Mahomes down. But in their defense, on the flip side of it, they can only do what they can do. They've been playing 17 games, and then they just came up against a team who was bigger than them, outmuscled them, outsmarted them. That is what it is. Happens sometimes. Now you got to go back to the drawing board. Maybe you need to shore up the line. But yeah, the Eagles just had too many ways to win. Too many ways to win. Too much talent on the offense. The defense really, the front four made it so easy on the secondary. If you can get pressure on the quarterback, you're smooth sailing in the back. Just do your job. You can cover, you're good. You cover, that quarterback has nobody to throw it to, and he's getting sacked. And that's exactly what the Eagles did. So shouts out to the Eagles in that aspect. Shouts out to the coaching. I do feel that Nick Sirianni, he had a much easier path to winning this game when your players really step up and do what they need to do to win the game for you. It makes it easier on the coach. I call the play, you execute. That's it. We don't have to do no trick plays. They didn't have to do no fake punts, no onside kick, no nothing like that. It's like I'm gonna punch you right in the mouth and keep trying to force my will on you. And they did just that. So shouts out to them in that regard. Where do the Chiefs go from here? You still have a lot to work with. You have a great quarterback. Maybe some players are getting a little older, and that happens. So you gotta be getting some players behind those positions to make sure you have some good backups. I don't know if this is Travis Kelce's last years. Retiring is something that a lot of guys think about. When you lose a game like this, it's a gut punch. It takes a lot to have to get back up and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this again. Let's go." So, Andy Reid, great coach. Do they want to do it again? And is this the end of a Chiefs dynasty? Or is this the beginning of the Eagles dynasty? Because they did make it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They just lost it. Now they won it. We can easily be talking about the Eagles having 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Could have been a completely different ball game because they only lost by 3 points. It's a good team, really good team. So, shouts out to all the players participating in the Super Bowl. We appreciate the display of hard work that you guys put out there. At least I do. Huge NFL fan. So, with that said, let me know what you guys think about the halftime show, the Super Bowl, performance of the teams. What do you guys think is next for the Chiefs? And how good do you think those Eagles are going to be next year in the NFC East? Drop a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.